Hey, how are you? Once again, you have found Hella Vella, and I'm Azrielle Lawless, and you found another Lawless interview. And today I'm here with Ngozi Robinson. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. Uh, I
Well, us Kindle Vella folks have to stick together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no truer words in the world of writing have been spoken recently. um, but I have a question that I ask everybody when we start out before I ask anything about Bella. It's about you and about the pen. And I'd like to know, when did you get started writing in Ngozi?
Well, I wrote a lot of emo poetry as a teenager, but I don't think that really counts. I'm 47 now. I would say about 20 years ago, I started writing the beginnings of the novel that I just published as my first novel last year. Took a
Ooh.
long time for me. I carried it around, just almost finished for years and years and years from computer to computer. And finally, the pandemic gave me the time and space to say, this book has got to get out. And it just blossomed from there.
Well, I am very glad to hear it. There were some good things to come out of the pandemic, I think, and I think we might still be seeing some of them. Of course, it was a tragedy. I'm not saying it was a great thing to have. Don't anybody say that. Don't anybody say that I'm saying that because I'm not. But it did give a lot of people who didn't have time, to pursue their dreams. It gave time for that, and a lot of people like
Mm.
you went ahead and did, utilize that time for that reason. So in that respect, I say it was good. So that means that, all right, you had your first novel just shortly after the pandemic started. So then when did you hear about Kindle Vella and how?
I had just heard about Kendall Vella a few months ago,
Really?
and that's it was kind of on there's this thing and it's episodic reading. And I was just thinking, well, I can hardly get to the books, on my regular list. I'm going to add more. And, but I checked it out and I'm in a writing group and we sort of all decided to try it together. And I wrote a science fiction a space opera last year, and I used Kendall Vella in the episodic episodes as a way to get through my second draft of that and to kind of
Oh,
hold myself accountable and to push it forward. So I got that out there. That's 100,000 words. That's a lot. And
woo.
but that was sort of written before Kindle Vella. Then I started writing for Kindle Vella. I started really trying to sort of work that, get these short, punchy episodes in with cliffhangers that draw you into the next piece. And it's been a fun journey.
So just a second, though. I just asked you when you heard about Kindle Vella, and you were already done with the question I haven't asked yet is about what you wrote for Kindle Vella. So that's
I'm
a-okay.
sorry.
That's a-okay. I do not want to skip over anything though. So I want to just check. Okay, so I've got Sinnerman, I've got
Mm-hmm.
Cold Dead Eyes,
Yes.
and I've also got the Seventh Power. Now, is the Seventh Power the space opera?
Yes.
Awesome. I got that right. It didn't
Mm.
seem like Cold Dead Eyes would be the space opera. Uh,
Cold Dead Eyes is a Western sci-fi mashup. Who
Woo!
doesn't like the a Western with an alien? Come on.
Well, I don't know. I'm writing a western with witches and warlocks,
Oh, that
so
sounds exciting.
why not? Why not? Why not aliens? Okay, so the seventh power, you said that's finished, and it's 100,000 words.
Yes. It's
Woo,
86 episodes, a
woo.
little over 100,000 words.
Wonderful. 86 episodes. That's great.
So that's something really to dig into. And I'm pretty proud of it as well. So
Well, I
I
don't doubt that. Okay. So then Cold Dead
mean,
Eyes.
there's always sort of a temptation to just put something out there in pursuit of the bonus.
Yes. Yes. And
It's
that's been a long running joke on this show since I've been doing it is because I believe I started doing these back in January, and we would joke about how people were going to the closet and basically finding anything, a shopping list, whatever they could find, to go ahead and make a Kindle Vella episode out of. So, but it's funny and it's not funny because writers want to get paid. They're just like anybody
exactly.
else. They want to get paid. What's wrong with that? And so there's nothing wrong with striking while the iron is hot. I missed out on the Kindle phenomenon that happened around 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't about to miss out on this. So anyway, um, so then when did you upload? What was the one that you uploaded after the seventh power?
Then it was Cold Dead Eyes. I gave myself a challenge. I said, I'm gonna write a Vella in a week because you have to have at least 10 episodes to mark it complete. And I said, I'm gonna try because the seventh power was longer and involved. I said, I'm just gonna, try and really punch it up and just get those powerful, like stick it to as close to 600 words as I can and just push this story further. And I didn't realize I was writing a horror. People like, oh, this is a thriller. So apparently it's exciting. And that was the second one. And
Is that one
it took me
also
2 weeks,
complete?
though. I couldn't write it in a week.
But it's not complete.
It is complete. It's just 10 episodes.
Oh, okay. It is done.
So that's kind of like a bite-sized story. All three episodes, all three stories are complete, and I'm about to start a fourth story now, starting next week. So
Okay.
looking forward to that.
Well, let's hear about Sinnerman first, and then I want to loop back around to what's coming up. So,
So,
Sinnerman
mm-hmm.
is how many episodes?
Sinnerman is 13 episodes. It's about 16,000 words. So it's a wonderful, I enjoyed it. It's, well, I'm a preacher. That is my day job.
Yes.
And the Sinnerman is about a cozy mystery about an amateur sleuth who's a preacher and
Oh,
solves
okay.
murders when she's in between writing sermons and looking for a man. So it's
Ah,
a little playful. It's also got some mystery and danger, some who done it. I like it.
oh, that's nice. So, how many words is that one?
The Cinnamon's about 16,000 words. So good size shorts, a good size novella.
Yeah. Okay. So, a novella, and then Cold Dead Eyes, similar size.
Yes, it's Cold Dead Eyes is a little shorter because I was trying to go for 600, 800 word episodes to see I'm trying to explore because there were like 2,000 word episodes in The Seventh Power. So, what do people like to read? Just trying to get a sense of what's popular. So, those are shorter episodes. I think that story is about 8,000 words.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And so now, what is the next one on your plate?
I'm writing, so the Sinnerman started for me the Regina Grant mysteries. So I'm writing the second in the Regina Grant mystery series called Charming Disguises,
Ooh, nice.
where Reverend Grant goes to New York City.
Nice. That's great. And have you begun it?
Yes, I'm about a third of the way into it. So I like to get a little, at least a little bit into it before I start posting, because sometimes the story really turns on me and I got to go back and say, oh, I said they had kids. No, they're single and living on the beach in a bum house. Something that I
Yeah,
gotta, so I like to make sure I was like, okay, the basics of the story are set and then go forward. So
excellent. Yeah. How many episodes do you like to get before you post?
well, I think I've got about five now, and that's good. This will probably go about 20 episodes. So
Cool.
I
Very
like
cool.
to. I know folks are going forever with some of theirs. I just think in terms of I guess completed stories. So it's easier for me to write a little shorter and then do another idea, because Kindle Vella has shown me that I don't have to make a several month commitment to a book. I can do that, but I can also do something incremental, and it can be whatever I want it to be.
That's right. That's right. Kindle Vella allows a lot of flexibility, which is what a lot of people like about it. It's one of the things I like about it. Um, have you been out on the social media community very much?
I'm in several groups where readers and writers can share what they're reading or what they're posting and what's coming up, and that's been a lot of fun. I have a Facebook group for my writing, Ngozi Robinson, author, and I try to be active on there as well. Yeah, this I send out a newsletter once a week. I'm trying to
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
where the
I know.
people are.
Everybody is. Everybody's doing the best they can. It takes a lot to market
Mhm.
yourself. One gal who knew, who had, I think she worked in traditional publishing. I've interviewed so many people, they start to run together after a while. But
Mhm.
she said it takes 32 people to put a book out in traditional publishing. 32 employees. It takes 32, a team of 32 people. And
Wow.
and indie authors have to be all those people. So
That sounds about right. But I didn't know I was 32 people. That's
yeah, you're 32
stressful.
people. Apparently we're all 32 people. We are way multitasking. But of course, we can't be 32 people. We can only be ourselves. We might strap on our superpowers once in a while, but that's not going to make up for 32 people. That's why you cannot get it all done right away. And I think that you got to have some time to write too.
Exactly.
So you can't,
In between
but
in between your marketing and everything else and cover design, try and squeeze in a little writing.
yeah. And I'm finding some of these gals out there in their early 30s, some of them even in their 20s, early 20s, and they are really out there moving and shaking. And I'm just like, oh my God, I need to get some new vitamins. I got to do something. You know, I can't keep up with these young gals. But everybody does what they can at their own pace. And I had to learn that lesson. I wore myself out trying to keep up, in the beginning, and wound up getting COVID, over just getting so
Oh
wiped
wow.
out, just getting so wiped out. I just got it somewhere.
Yeah,
And
you gotta take care of yourself. It's hard.
I know it's really rough.
Stress weakens the immune system.
It
So I was like,
do,
don't
do.
stress me out. I'm trying to live.
That's right. That's right. And but that was a lesson. That was a lesson. So and so now I'm happy with my own pace. Whatever that comes out to be, I'm gonna be happy with it. So um well then the next thing I've got to ask you, since you've been out here on Vella just a few months. Have you had a chance to read any Vellas?
I have. First, I started reading My Friends, and that was really cool. And then, as I got into some of these Facebook groups and others, I would get a chance to read, peruse through, because they'll present things thematically. So I'll be like, okay, this is the mystery horror stuff. What do I see in these descriptions that I might like? And really wound up finding some things that surprised me. I was like, I never thought I would read this, but I read a couple episodes and I'm still reading. So that's the
Wonderful.
idea with the whole Vella, right?
Yes. So, do you have any authors you want to share with us and shout out now?
I do. I do. Yeah, there is a Vella called Doe, Zombies at the Border by
Dome,
Yvette Walker.
D O.
Doe as in DOE,
Oh,
like it's a woman's name, the
Doe.
main character.
Zombies at the Border.
hmm And that's by Yvette Walker. And then she's a friend of mine. Now, here's one that I just ran across, and I Satan, is that you? Is the name of it. And it's just like, hey, Satan's gotten a bad rap. So I was like, well, I feel like this is professional research. I have to. And that's by Janet Lee Smith. And that's been pretty fun, I gotta say.
That's awesome.
They did a show on Amazon a while ago when an angel and a demon were lovers or something, and it was a comedy, and it sort of reminds me of that a similar feel. Um, then there's one called Emerald Drone. Now that is the one that most really took me by surprise. It's about um a a, a college student woman who was raised by kind of a doomsday prepper, and
Uh-huh.
then there's a school shooter on her campus, and it's all about what she does because she's been trained for emergency just like this.
Yeah.
And then I guess my last one would be Mad Dog Elegy, and that's by Collings MacCrae. And she's got a whole series. I think this is her fourth one in the Fox Argyle mysteries.
Yes.
And they're all good, but she was using the same theme image for the first ones, and this one has a really spooky, creepy visual, and I love it. I love folks who maximize that
Yes.
little circle of cover space.
It's an art form, I'll tell you. Well, did you notice I didn't even have to ask you who wrote Emerald Drone? You didn't say, and I didn't ask.
Oh, Alan
Al
Chaput.
Chaput. I know Al, and it's he did a great job, don't you think? I mean, I don't know him personally. I know him in the
And
Villa
so
community.
I went back there to find the name, and I was like, oh, it's a guy who's writing this. Because I just assumed central female character, and she didn't seem to be horribly written or anything, so
No,
I
no,
couldn't tell.
no, he's very good. He's living his best life. He's having his
Mm-hmm.
second career. I believe Al's 80. Al, I know you're at least 80, you said. So he's got a great Facebook page. He does all these zany TikToks and stuff. You should follow him out on Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Okay.
And especially since you're writing the Regina Grant series,
Mm-hmm.
and he writes cozy mysteries. That's all he writes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. So you two should chat. You'll probably chat in the comments of this video when I put it up on Facebook. I'm sure you will. I'll introduce you to. Okay. So because he'll be shouted out and he'll get listed. All right. Well, that leads us to probably the hardest question. Are you ready?
I'm so ready for this, you don't even know.
Here we go. if you suddenly woke up tomorrow and rather than preaching the word of the Lord, you are preaching the gospel of Kindle Vella because you are now the CEO. What, if anything, would you do to improve that platform for both the reader and the writer?
Okay, I would have some instructions on how to do absolutely anything so that the reader could actually find their way to Kindle Vella and understand they need to tap this and you read it right there. There's no buy button anywhere to click. I've brought people to the page and they're like, yes, but where is it? How do I buy it? It's so difficult. It's like you got to be tech support
Yeah.
for folks.
Yeah.
And the cozy mystery audience is older, so yay with that. So there would be that, just guidance, for how to actually logistically use the platform. I think there should be a basic spell and grammar check like there is on Kindle, because I've seen some things that give us on Kindle Vella a bad name. And I know people are trying hard, but just spell check. Super easy.
Mm.
Um, I would make the way you get paid with royalties and bonuses completely transparent so that we wouldn't have to be guessing and sort of holding seances on the 20th every month, wondering what's going to come down from the great mountain above.
Okay, well that's good. That now transparency on compensation has been mentioned a few times. I know um, it's something a lot of authors feel pretty strongly about, and
And here's one. I would advertise the service. I don't know. It's just crazy. These are just ideas off the top of my head.
well,
No,
yeah,
I
I don't give you
yeah.
a lot of time to prepare, but those are solid. Those are very solid. Additional guidance for readers on how to get there, how to use the coin system, things like that. Maybe even a cute cartoon. Who knows? Who cares? Something. But then we've got transparency on compensation and more advertising of the platform itself.
Oh, don't forget that spell and grammar check.
Oh yeah. No, but I don't. Isn't that actually in there? No grammar. No grammar. The
I
spell
have
check's in
seen, come on now. You've seen some things that it's amazing how they got up there.
there. To be fair,
So,
however, I expected to see a lot more.
yeah. And I think that is only because people don't know about it.
Hmm. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, you could be right. I hope not. I hope the quality remains as high as it is, so
So
that
my
the
wish list, yeah, exactly. And higher. I just
yes.
think I just think it is a wonderful opportunity and people should take it just as seriously, although it's a different way of doing it, as you would publishing any book. You would
Right.
want it to be as published and as considered as possible so
Yeah.
you can present your ideas to the public. And I want people to know that they're going to have that same care presented to them when they come to Kindle Vella.
Right. That might take a bit.
Wish list.
Yeah. 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 Be kind of tough to police all the content. There's plenty of crummy buttons Kindle books. You know what I mean?
Although I have seen folks And it has happened with me occasionally when I've uploaded and it said, no, 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 no. There are errors in this. There are grammatical errors in this text.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
For Kindle.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Wow.
maybe not for Kindle. I've done print as well, so now I can't say for sure. But yeah, I am excited about the platform, want it to be great. I hope that they're really committed to it, because they
I
also
do
came
too.
out with the phone and that didn't go so well. So,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
hope that we get to see what happens when Kindle opens up internationally. That's where I think we'll really see where this will go.
that would be nice. That's another thing. So, yes, that's on the wish list as well. So
I got
I
a lot
think
of wishes.
that's a lot of wishes, but I think we have come to just about the end of this interview. And the last thing I ask everyone is when people listen to your interview and they click on your links and go to your Vellas, and that's how they get to know you as a writer, is there anything that you would like to say to these folks?
I just want to say thank you. I am not the I am not the most popular writer on Kindle Vella. I'm not in that upper echelon, but I have all of the passion and all of the care and enthusiasm that I bring to my work. And I hope it's something you enjoy. And if it's not, then you only spent a couple of coins. All right, Kat. It is not complete. No Zoom is complete until my cat jumps into the
That
picture
was
and puts the
great. I
dice.
love that. I'm keeping that. And
Jelly Belly wants to say thank you too.
yes, that's Jelly Belly.
Yes, it is.
It was very nice meeting you both and talking with you today in Ngozi. And I wish you every success out on Kindle Vella. And, you know, keep at it. And we'll see you out there in the socials.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you out there.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.